Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. So, I was doing an unboxing yesterday, and I promised to come back and give a quick to finish it up. I should say. I promised to come back and finish it up because all I'd done in the initial video was the unboxing. That was yesterday. And by the time I finished getting this thing together, getting mine together and my husband's, I just didn't feel like getting back on and recording the final product. So I'm on here today, new day. Yes, I still look whooped, I still look tired, and that's to be expected. I've already explained what the deal is with that. But on top of that, I didn't get very much sleep last night. So anyway, so the S8. Samsung S8, and as I said before, this video is not sponsored in any way by my cell phone carrier, which is T-Mobile, or by Samsung, which is the product that I have for a phone. So I should go get my other phone just so that I can do a quick comparison. Matter of fact, let me pause this and I'll be right back. Yeah, I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. So I wanted to go really quickly get my previous phone, which is the Samsung Note 4. And as I explained before, this phone kept shutting down no matter the battery life. So we had to get a replacement, and after 2 months of going back and forth with T-Mobile, we got our replacement, which is the Samsung Galaxy 8. And right away there are some differences. As you can see, the Note 4 is wider than, let's see if I can get that straight, is wider than the S8. And the Note 4 also has a pen that you can use to take notes with. And when we decided what phone we were going to upgrade to, we decided that we didn't use the pens enough on the, sorry about that, we didn't use the pens enough on the 4 to bother with getting it on the S8, because S8 does have, well, the latest, one of the latest versions of the Galaxy S series has a Note version, so it's like a Note 8. And we decided that we didn't use the pen enough on the 4 to do it on the 8. So that's the first two big differences. This one is wider than the 8. Another big difference that I realized is that you can see the white borders on here, whereas on the S8 there are no borders. It's the edge. So you can, see if I can turn it that way. So the screen goes a little bit further around. It curves a little bit, and I don't know if that's a good angle for you to see it, but it curves a little bit around versus the way it does straight across on the Note 4. And I'm going to make this quick because I do have a doctor's appointment, but I wanted to get this done before I headed out today, or headed back out, because I've already been out once. So that's the first three differences. Now on my on my 8, you have the ability, okay, good, it did exactly what I wanted it to. So the time is always showing, which that feature is called the always on feature, and I like that because on the 4, when my phone is dark, when the 4 is dark, the time's not there. It's just a black screen. So you have to actually push a button, any button, to turn it on so that you can see the time, which is right there. And sometimes you don't really want to do all of that. You just want to know what time it is. So there it is right there. Something else that's different is you have to double tap on that little square to get to the main screen. And I need to reset that because this shuts down in like 10 seconds, if that, if you don't do anything with it. So double tap and you swipe. And I had the map up here because I was trying to get directions, and let me get rid of that person's face. But I never took it off. The map, that is. So we get to my main screen, which I know it's difficult to see because of the glare, and I do apologize for that. That's my baby eye. So I know it's difficult to see, but just like on the 4, there is a, there we go. If I tilt it, it helps a little bit. You got your home screen and you got your home icons. See how fast that shut down? So I got to change the time on that. But here's a big difference, a huge difference. And I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to try to, you see where it says apps? Oh, and I just clicked the wrong thing. I apologize. Let me switch hands. Maybe that'll help. Okay, so you see where it says apps right here. You click that and it takes you to all of your apps. That's not the same for the 8. There is no button that says apps down there. And I'm trying to find a spot where it won't be such a huge glare. There is no button where it says apps. So that confused me initially. I'm like, okay, so where are all of my apps going to go? And as I began to add the apps that I had on my 4, I noticed that it would say we're adding them to your screen. So there's some of them. Oh, it's a huge glare, and I do apologize. That's because that light fixture is right over top. But if I turn the light out, it'll be too dark. So it added some of the, it added everything that I added on, all the apps that I added on, it added it to this screen. But that doesn't speak to where the other apps are that were already programmed or loaded when the phone was activated. So in order to get those apps, and I'm going to try to do this before it shuts off, you flip up. There we go. You flip up and it gives you the rest of your apps. So that was a little different for me. That was a lot different for me because I was so used to seeing the button that takes me right there. The other thing is that, and you can barely see this. Let me see if I can get it back. You can barely see it, but right here, let's see. I'm trying to get this on here the right way. Right here, that little line, if you move it over, it'll take you to the apps that you use the most. If you do it one more time, it'll take you to your main contacts, the people that you call the most. And if you move it one more time, and I've yet to figure out exactly what this does, but this is another feature. So I can't speak to it because I haven't really played with it yet to see what it's all about. But it's called Smart Select. And it basically says you select an area to capture as an image or a GIF animation, and you can pin it. You can pin an image so that it's always at the top. I haven't really played with it yet, so I don't know how it really works. And where your contacts are, the contacts that you have, the main contacts, it's called People Edge. And where's the other one? And then the other one is called Apps Edge. And I'm sorry for constantly going off. I don't normally do product reviews, but I'm going to get into doing, because I used to do book reviews, or started doing book reviews, and then I stopped. So I'm going to try to get back into doing reviews as a part of my channel, and it actually may go on my other channel, but we'll talk about that later. So those are some of the things that I noticed initially, and so far I like it. I haven't had any issues. with it. I've only had it not even a whole 24 hours yet, so I haven't really had a chance to play with it the way that I would like to play with it before I can give it a full-on review. But I really like it. And then, you know, it's got your camera, which is your double-facing camera, I think is what they call it. Oh, Bixby, great reminder. There's another feature called Bixby, and I'll talk about that in a sec. But you've got your camera, and the other feature, and one that I use on a regular basis on my Note 4, is the S Health option. It's an app that I really like to use when I'm walking. I have a Fitbit, but I also like to use the S Health, which is Samsung's health app. And I liked to use that when I was walking or doing a little bit of a workout, which isn't, I don't do a lot of working out. Most of my workout consists of walking for a length of time and a certain distance, and building up the walk. And that's what I've done for years, and it's really helped me. I've been to a gym, blah, blah, blah. But that's one of the main reasons why I got the Fitbit, because I like to walk. But back to the phone. So I use the S Health app, and one of the features for the S Health app, and I'll try to do this, you put your finger here, and it will monitor your heart rate and your oxygen levels, and it also can tell you what the UV is while you're outside, so you know if you need to put on sunscreen, more sunscreen, whatever the case may be. So I haven't really used the camera feature yet. I forget what they say. I gotta look at that again. I forget what it is. But I haven't really used the camera feature yet. Again, I said I haven't even had it for a full 24 hours, so I haven't had a chance to really play with it the way that I would like to play with it. But I like it so far. It's slim. It's lightweight. It's a lot lighter than my Note 4. As you can see, it's thinner than the Note 4. It's thinner than the Note 4. And it's lighter than a Note 4. Not tremendously lighter, but you can tell there's a difference in weight. Something else, and I remember, and I don't have it with me right now, and I'm not going to go back and get it, but that little key, it looked like a leaf, that I was like, I wonder what this is all about, and I remembered, or that I saw that it was for opening up this little piece here. This is where your SD card and your memory card go. It took me a sec to get that together because I wanted to put in the SIM card from my Note 4 in here, so that I didn't have to deal with trying to transfer information. It would all wait. It was already on my SIM card from here. But the SIM card that goes in this phone, the SIM card that goes in the S8, is a micro SIM card, so it's much smaller, and there is no getting a larger one in there. The slot is just big enough for the micro SIM card that comes with this. And then you also put your memory card and your SD card in, and it's also just big enough for micro SD, which I already had in the Note 4, so I just took that and put it on in here. Transferring the information was so super duper easy. It took me a long time because I was preoccupied. I was on the phone talking to my youngest about some things and just, you know, dealing with the day. So it took me a long time to get everything done. And at the end of the day, I ended up having to call T-Mobile because everything, once I got it working, everything worked, but my ability to receive phone calls. I was still getting phone calls on the Note 4. So when I called T-Mobile, the wonderful rep says, well, have you registered your new SIM card yet? I was like, oh yeah, yeah, I gotta do that, don't I? So yeah, I'm at 70% already. I haven't done anything yet. So yeah, it was really fairly easy. And when I say really fairly easy, there's an app on here called, and if I can find it, I'll pull it up, I'll show it to you really quick. but it's called Smart Switch, and it's not on here. It's not obvious on here, but I did install it on my Note 4 because I had to install it on the Note 4. It doesn't show up here either, but oh, there it is. Okay, so there's an app called Smart Switch, and I don't know if you can see it because of the glare. I do apologize, but it's called Smart Switch. I hate that. You can't see it. Let me tilt it a little. And as you can see, it says USB cable, wireless, or external storage. And what it does is it transfers your information from your old phone to your new phone, which I absolutely love, because the last time that we upgraded, we got the Note 4, and I forget what phone we had before, but we took it into the store. We bought it at the store, and we were there for at least 2 hours getting the information transferred from our old phones to our new phones. And that was just time consuming, and we could have been doing so many other things at that time if we really wanted to, if Smart Switch was an available option then. So I love the fact that it was an option for this, because it just transferred all of my information right on over to the new phone. You know how people say, I got a new, and I see this on Facebook all the time, I got a new phone, I lost all my contacts, so if you want me to be able to reach you, inbox me your telephone number, or call me. If you've got my telephone number, call me and let me know who you are, or send me a text and let me know who you are. With Smart Switch, you don't have to worry about that, because it takes literally everything you have on your old phone and puts it on your new phone. The only thing that doesn't go over, which isn't a shock, is what you have on your SD memory card, and that's because you put it on your SD memory card, and when you insert that in here, then that goes onto the new phone. So I really loved that feature. I loved that they came up with that. They, whomever they are, I don't know if it was Samsung or someone else, but I loved that that is now a feature. So it took, I think it took maybe 15 minutes for that information to transfer over. And when I say it transfers everything, I mean text messages as well. And I had over 5,000 text messages, which I don't even know why. But I'm one of those people that I like to be able to go back to a message to remember, you know, because like my sons send me information, my kids send me information, and I may not necessarily plug it in to anything. I may not, like if my oldest son, when he sent me his new address, I didn't necessarily right away plug it into his contact information. It was still in the text message. So I was able to go back when I was ready to plug it into the contact information. I was able to go back to look at his text messages and get that address and plug it in. So I like being able to go back. I think I still have messages from my mom, who passed in 2015. I think I still have her text messages. So I'm one of those people, and it drives my husband crazy because he literally might have 20 messages on his phone, 20 to 30 messages on his phone. And to have that many is a shock, because he usually gets the message, reads it, and then deletes it. He's good about that. I, on the other hand, am not. If I showed you my office right now, which really isn't an office, I'm a paper hoarder. I store information. I do, and that's bad. And I'm trying to get better at it. So that's just who I am. I store that information. So I have text messages on here that I transferred to here. Over 5,000 text messages. And it literally took maybe 15 minutes, if that long, to just make sure that everything went over. And of course the text messages is what took the longest. So yeah, so far I really like my phone. I really like that it's lightweight. Now I have to go find a case for it because it's very fragile, and I don't want to damage it. So I gotta go find a case, an expensive case, hopefully. Online from T-Mobile. The case that I really want is a $50 case, and I am hoping that I find something very similar, if not exact, at a much better price when I go out today to run some errands. So that is that. And as you see, I still have to have it plugged in. I had to have it plugged in order to even compare the two just now, because it still shuts off. And I can actually still use this phone. I still have access to my Facebook account, all of my social media. I still have access to on here. So it's a good backup just in case something happens to the Note 4. Just in case, it's a good backup. I can't make any phone calls because the SIM card in this phone is no longer registered, but I can still access everything else that I may want to access on here. So that is my review of the Samsung Galaxy S8. It's 9 o'clock. I need to get out of here. Samsung Galaxy S8. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope you have an awesome rest of the day. Peace and blessings. And remember to walk in your purpose.